Everybody, welcome back. Just kind of touching base. I've been just chomping at the bit to get more of the Atlantic Wall stuff done. I got Walked Rhine stuff I want to get done. I got some BCS stuff I'm doing on the side. Um, I'm not getting to that tonight because I have some other obligations that I've obligated myself to. But it's some fun stuff. During the end of the pandemic stuff, when we were all everyone was kind of staying home and not doing a lot of stuff still in the gaming world, um, I got into this right here, Tabletop Simulator. So one of the things I did was I found a Mighty Empires map online, and I've showed you guys this in a video way back. Basically, this isn't a Mighty Empires game. This right here is just an image that somebody had put on the internet of the map they created, and I copied that and threw it into a game board. And then another guy sent me some copies of his painted villages, fortresses, and cities. And I made really 2D counters out of these, so they're fast and easy to make. But if you're playing at this level, they look pretty decent. Down here you can see they're just a flat counter, right? But you look up here, that city looks pretty city-like, doesn't it? And same with the fortress. That's just a thicker piece. So basically, I just made it really thick. And then I created these own markers by finding some images online at GW and different things of high elves. And I went out to a Facebook page called Mighty Empires. And the reason I did that is because I actually started playing this by myself with 4 armies that I have books for, and was just going to play it for the fun, right? Because it's no longer in print. It's hard to get a copy. I do own a whole copy of it, but I can't leave a map set up for 2 years while I play a campaign or whatever. So, I started thinking, it'd be fun to play it, but I kind of know all the moves, right? Like I can't really trick myself or backstab myself with diplomacy or whatever. So what I decided to do is this map had 6 starting positions, and I'll kind of show you where they are. Like here was the orc capital of Gragbad, the orc capital of Grimfang. Now this is all just random where they ended up, but it tells a pretty good little story on its own. This is a dwarf capital of Alabrin Ungol, Bretonnian capital of Inasquel, another dwarf capital of Dwar Agrim, and the high elf capital of Lothlormar. So these are all names that I generated with the name generator in a Mighty Empire. Seems like it's kind of a fan copy that somebody made. It's much more in depth than the original Mighty Empires. Not that game by itself wasn't a total hoot. But anyway, I kind of got sidetracked. But I also made. I'll show you these. So like here's my orc counter, right? Here's a rebel one. This is just a neutral city because I couldn't figure out how to get flags that would look good standing up. So I just made markers, right? And use those. And then somebody else sent me a picture of a generic army, right? So I took out the color of the flag, used the same army over and over, and just created my own flags with my own emblems and stuff that match. So anyway, I say all that to say I was going to play this solitaire, and it just seemed like pretty boring. I mean, it would have been fine. It would have been fun. And I could have kind of told my own story and been a little probably more narrative than that. But, it just seemed kind of blah. So I went out on the Facebook page and I said, hey, anybody interested in running a realm for Mighty Empires? And then I will fight the battles on Tabletop Simulator and give you the reports. So basically, I got 6 players. We've had a couple that have had to drop either personal reasons or, stuff just came up in life or whatever. And that's fine. We just write that into the story. I had an orc player that couldn't continue, so I had a rival orc kill him off, and that's the new orc war boss that's leading up here. It actually, you think it would kind of ruin it. We hate to see those players go. They are all good people. They were fun to play with, but it just didn't work out. I had a dwarf player that had to drop. That really messes up the game like in real life, because then all the alliances that everybody had and all the agreements they had, are they going to honor those? I mean, they might not have to begin with, but now you have a totally different leader, just like in real life. So I have Chronicles going for it. Let me zip over here to show you. Oh, and then I have all the, I can't zoom in too much in case any of the players see it, but I have like little extra markers and armies and their dice. I have special dice for them, and I roll their order and show them the order. And I send them little close ups of their area. Like right now, we have some fighting going on here. So the orcs came in and took the dwarven city of Lum Iok, and um, they took that because there was nobody there. So this army's moved here, and there was a dwarf army here that decided to move here, and so they're sieging this one, and they're assaulting this city. So I'm going to show you that here momentarily and how I do that. But what it did is it lets me have people that I'm not controlling that can do what they want. They can run the realm however they want, and then I'll play out the battles. So we both get to do some fun stuff. Their commitment time is fairly minimal. I mean, they might not get a turn more than once every month or two, maybe 3, depending on what's going on. I told them it's a slow burn. Nobody's in a big hurry. If people have to bow out for a whatever reason, we'll get a replacement. But so far, everybody seems to be enjoying it. And I have my Chronicles I do for it. So we have our months and everything. We're actually in our 4th month, I think, right now. This is like the very start of the 4th month. Because right now, King Odom, I think it is here. Yeah, Odom Duzil of the Braz Bin Angaz clan. A lot of people have really gotten into it as far as giving names and stuff. So we had Dazag the Sneaky As right here, and we got Gutzog Big Boss of the Bloodtooth Boys, and we have Athenor, very high elfish, and we have Kazadni Thunderstone, and then we have Yahan the 7th of House of Borderlux. So that's the factions we have, and then we have some. And I only have so many books. I need to get like the Empire book. I need to get that. I know I have a Lizardman book somewhere, but I can't find it. I have a Chaos book somewhere. I haven't been able to find it. But so we basically have a Bretonnian rebels here. That this just happened to both be Bretonnian. It's kind of funny. This right here was the city of Tick. It was a Skaven city that the orcs captured, and they renamed it Rat Stomp. So anyway, I let these guys be rulers, and they lead their cities. This is the village of Axdoka. It's a lizardman village because I'm going to look for, if somebody attacks it, which I'm sure they will eventually, I'll have to dig for my lizardman book even more. But so I'm a little bit limited. I don't think I have a dark elf book. I don't have I don't have an empire book. I have a couple different, I have a couple copies of one book. I think it's the dwarves. I can't remember. But I was going to try to trade somebody for an empire book because I'd like to get that. But anyway, I'm getting a little sidetracked. But these are the rollers in tabletop simulators. So you roll your dice, You can also pick up your dice and roll like this if you want to. You can add a bunch of dice if you want to and roll, 7 dice here. So that's kind of how tabletop simulator works. It works really well. So this is the campaign, and it's a smaller map. So, but it took them 4 months, four turns. Each turn is a month before people started actually attacking each other. And there's still open areas. We have here's a boat that I made with a picture of a boat somebody sent me. The boat doesn't look as cool. It looks okay from here. It looks horrible from the side. I did find, so somebody did make a Mighty Empires module, which I was super excited about. And I'm not to be critical of anyone's work, but I really wish they would have made it look like the original or closer. Because I would love to use that to make maps. They fancied it up. They look great. Obviously, they put time and effort into that. That looks great. But I love kind of a traditionalist on some of these things. I kind of like things to look kind of the way they were. So, but they did have a really kicking boat, is why I bring it up. So I grabbed their boat. You can save it as an object. Any objects you save are in yours, and they're saved object folders that you create. So I now save that boat, and I'm going to put it on here when I get a chance. So anyway, so this is like the main map. I'm just doing this tonight to kind of share what I'm working on. Here's my Chronicles for it. So here we have the Chronicles. I'm on page, what page am I on here? Like 11 or something like that. I don't use this app too much. 12 of 12. So this is page 12. So I have my Chronicles. I kind of tell stories. kind of put their moves down, and like if there's things where people have starvation because of lack of baggage, or for those familiar with Mighty Empires and all that stuff. And it's the year of the angry bear, so I randomly rolled up some different animals and with adjectives, and that'll be our calendar for our fantasy world. There's really no rhyme or reason to it other than I just picked something that sounded cool and did that. And then I'll show you how I do the battle, and I'll probably just call it a. Uh, oops, I didn't necessarily want to go there. Okay, so let's get out of that. Do 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 do. Okay, so um, go back to my save stuff here, Mighty Empires. So here is the Battle of Lum Iok, which is the dwarves getting ready to take back. And I found this book online, Blood in the Badlands, because this is all 8th edition. So this is Blood in the Badlands, and this has 8th edition siege rules. And it also has a really fun little siege story to read, but I'm not as interested in that as I was the siege rules. And so I've created a generic siege map. So basically the playable area is outside these woods and stuff, because this isn't going to matter. So this is more for look, and reinforcements can come in here. I have all my 8th edition tables on here. I have the dice here now. I have markers for fleeing units that I created. These are just tokens. These are objective markers, a rock pile, burning oil. These I found from other people that had created items. I have these items for, various things. So these are the 3 objectives. Oops. These are the 3 objectives. The orcs are holding the line. So, and this I use because there's only so much I can do. I can't figure out how to get that to butt up right there, but whatever. I mean, you don't notice it playing. And right here, this is the Hell Gate, so I paid extra money, so I put a token there, and I put a token there, and basically if anyone tries to pound this gate down. Now, at one point, this gate was really cool, but the way I saved it, I destroyed you could put it so the door was up or the door is gone, and I don't know how I destroyed that. So anyway, and then the other guys have bought some undermining the dwarves, so they're going to try to undermine these sections, and each of these sections is being defended. And when you play these siege rules, you can break up into any size unit you want. So like the 3rd Orc Boys, these are 2nd Savage Orcs. And the reason I have names on them is because during the campaign, you build up experience, and you can get special abilities for units. And so I need to keep track of who's lost what. And then I have rosters for every one of the kingdoms. So I have their rosters. They decided what to put them in for banners. They decide where to send them, where to scout, who to attack. And then when it comes to the winter season, when we go to winter quarters, they're going to, I basically roll all the random events, roll when they're scouting, and then I get to fight out the battles. That's the part I get to do. So it just so happened that, they had a rock lobber, and then they got more orcs over here, and they got some spider riders here. There wasn't very good savage orcs on Tabletop Simulator. The only really good ones were on round bases, so I just kind of worked in this Age of Sigmar one for now, but these are the savage orcs with paint on them that somebody created in 3D. So you can see everything's 3-dimensional. Here's the Blad, the Black Orc Big Boss. He's the leader. I have rosters that look like they're on little index cards with each kingdom, and so then I can bring those index cards into this table. So here's the battle. It's going to be 1,482 points against 800 points. So here's all the different dice I found that are fantasy dice that I could use that people have saved in there. So I can find cool looking dice that I want to use. Terrain bag here, basically everything's in there. This is a Wolf Goblin Cherry. In this version, you have to have a relief force of some size. I think the relief force is kind of a waste of opportunity because there's only 5 turns and there's no guarantee the released force will show up. But if it does and you get to the gate, you can automatically win because you've broken through the gate. But anyway, so here we got the stunties, the dwarves. We got some quarrelers here, and we got some long beards here, and just kind of show you what the dwarves look like. Some really, that's the castle. So people have scanned these images and they're really good. So there's the dwarves. I got some ladders because, believe it or not, when they climb the wall, there are no rules for scaling the wall. If you're playing this with miniatures, you'd move this unit up touching the wall, and then it simulates that they're using grappling hooks and ladders to climb. But in this, I can put these ladders up against the wall and I can set the miniature and it'll sit partway up the ladder. So it actually looks pretty epic. I don't think I have any pictures of my last battle, but this signifies that they have rock piles, and the extra ones that have burning oil that I paid for, they'll have burning oil. So there's some trolls up here, and basically the attacker has 5 turns to take this objective, and this objective. If they take all 3, they win. If they take 1, they lose. If they take 2, then it goes to a point tie-breaking system and all that stuff. I have this siege ladder. That's all they could afford to buy, because they also bought these for undermining. And I guess that's about it. I'm still setting up this battle. They got an organ gun. And anyway, but this is probably the attack. I haven't put the leaders in with units yet, but we'll put those leaders in and then we'll get going. So this is where I fight the siege battles. They're all kind of the same on the map. I haven't gotten too crazy. This is only the second siege we fought. We haven't fought any field battles yet. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here. But anyway, so what I do is the people that are playing, they will get detailed turn-by-turn reports about what's going on, what they've lost, how it went. And then once in a great while, I will have a random. Can you check on him, please? From Barkin. Once in a while, I'll put a random factoid out to the rest of the kingdom of something that may or may not be happening in the battle, but it may or may not be true, right? So it's like rumors. So, I have to be careful who I kind of share this with. I don't let. I'm thinking about putting this up on the Mighty Empires page and just telling, hey, everybody involved in the campaign, please do not watch. It will give some spoilers to what's going on in the battle. They could probably watch the beginning part. Maybe I'll tell them they can watch that. But when it gets to the battle part, please stop watching Gentleman's Agreement so that they're not getting info. But that way you guys can see what we're doing. And that's what I'm working on tonight. So we're going to get going on the first turn of the battle tonight. They do take me a little bit of time because I got to go through the Orc book and the Dwarf book, and I got to kind of learn the different armies. And we haven't had a lot of battles yet, so they get pretty green commanders, and so. But so far, everybody seemed to like it. It's been a lot of fun. And just want to let people know what I'm doing. I am going to get back to some of the other regular videos here, hopefully Atlantic Wall and stuff like that on the D-Day stuff on the game I'm doing on that. So I will get to that this week, hopefully, or this weekend, and we'll just go from there. So I just was touching base. Thought I'd show people what I've been doing lately. It's a lot of fun. Kind of zoom around in there. I send them some visuals, like if I had a leader up on the parapet here. So if I had him standing up here, he could be looking down at the dwarves, angry at the dwarves, and anyway, all that good stuff. So good stuff. I hope you guys are having fun. Just wanted to kind of share that and let you see what's out there, what we're doing. Kind of miss playing a lot of Warhammer Fantasy. This system is dead. This was 8th edition. I still play it on the tabletop, and I'm going to play it on Tabletop Simulator because I enjoy it. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I will talk to you later.